Have you ever felt like you're walking a tightrope, balancing your drive for your success on one side and your need for deep, meaningful connection on the other? It's that constant push and pull, the deep desire to chase our dreams while also close and feeling to the people who matter most to us. We want their approval and for them to support the bigness we're pursuing while also feeling free and unhinged to go after that bigness without feeling lonely, without feeling like no one gets us and like they don't understand our drive and our ambition. We want to feel like we belong, like the people around us value us for who we are, even as we're reaching for more. In this video, we're diving into the heart of that tension. Why does it exist? What's really going on when we feel like we have to choose between our ambitions and our relationships? We'll explore the unique challenges that big dreamers like us face. You know, those internal conflicts that can make us question whether we can truly have it all, do it all, and be it all. So by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why you feel like you're walking a tightrope, but you'll also see why it's completely possible to pursue your dreams, your vision, without losing that connection. You'll walk away with a new perspective, one that helps you navigate this journey with more clarity and more confidence, knowing that you can feel deeply connected, supported, secure, accepted, and understood, all while chasing the life you want. This reminds me, I recently read Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Amazing book. And in there was a story about a guy who was new to town and he got invited to a costume party. He decided to go all out and dressed up like a lobster. But when he arrived, he realized, oops, everyone else was dressed up in medieval costumes. Can you imagine? Evidently, somewhere he did not get the memo of what kind of party this was. So everyone was looking relatively the same. And then in walks this big red lobster. Oh my gosh. Now, most of us might feel like running out the door and never speaking to those people again. But no, not this guy. He owned his lobster, dancing, talking to new people, and making new friends. What a guy, right? And I would love to be like him. And I've definitely had times in my own life where I felt like I stuck out like a lobster and a sore thumb, only I didn't embrace it. Instead, I felt more like an outsider in my own life. I wanted to hide, I wanted to run away. And that's where the tension starts. When you have everything you've worked for, a good career, a beautiful home, a life that looks picture perfect and Instagram worthy on the outside, but deep down there's this nagging feeling you just can't shake. This call for something more, that there's something more out there for you. An inner voice telling you that you're meant to do more and be more. But when you try to talk about it and try to make sense of it, you either get blank stares or worse, people ask you questions like, why can't you just be happy with what you have? Isn't it good already? It's like being in a room full of people who love you, yet feeling completely alone because they just don't get it. Can you relate? So why does this tension exist? Why is it that the very drive that pushes us to achieve great things can also leave us feeling so alone? And from my perspective, it's because as go-getters and change makers, we are a rare breed. We're the ones who are ambitious AF, often doing more in a day than most people do in a week. There's this fire inside of us constantly burning for more impact, more fulfillment, and more life. But with that fire comes some pretty unique challenges that most people don't experience and they can't understand. And that's where the feeling of being an outsider can really hit home. When your ambition and drive set you apart from the people around you, making us feel isolated, even when we're surrounded by people who love us and we know they love us. But it's like we're in a crowded crowded room with the volume turned down, and we see the people around us, our family, our friends, our sister, our brother, our mentor, but the connection feels muted, leaving you feeling alone despite the company. Whew! It's a tough one. Have you ever felt that way? It's like we're lighthouses on a hill, and our light shines so brightly, guiding ships and lighting up the dark waters. We're standing tall, fulfilling our purpose, but we're also standing alone. And from a distance, everyone can see our light and admire our strength, but no one really understands what it's like to be that lighthouse, braving the storms and standing firm in the night. Am I right? And that's what it's often like to be a high achiever, quite frankly. Everyone sees the light, they see the success and the accolades, but they don't always see the solitude that comes with it. This reminds me a few years ago, and I've shared my story a few times, but when I was pushing hard in my career, climbing that proverbial mountain of success, and everything seemed to be going great on the outside. But I started to feel this inner nudge, this inner pull, that there was more out there for me, more impact to make, more success to achieve, more joy to experience. I tried to lean into it to explore what this pull really meant. Was I truly being called outside of something I had envisioned myself doing forever? But the more I leaned into it, the more I noticed something. The people who had always been by my side seemed to drift away. And the more I leaned into this feeling, the fewer people I felt like I had around me who truly got me and understood me. It felt like I was on this incredible solo hike up a mountain, breathtaking views, a sense of accomplishment, but also this eerie quiet. I'd looked back down on the trail and realized that I was alone. And it was like the people I was hiking with decided to stop because they were content with where they were, while I kept trying to push forward, to go after more. And I found myself thinking, hey guys, I think there's this amazing view up here. I'm not sure yet, but I would love to share it with you. But there was no one there to respond. They were all content with where they are. And that's the thing about being a go-getter. We're always moving forward, always looking for that next peak in every area of our life. But sometimes it can feel like we're the only ones still hiking and still pushing for more, while everyone else is content with the view they have. They're content with where they are on the mountain. And it reminds me of those overachievers in group projects in school. You remember those days? Maybe you were one of them. They would do all the work and even get the A. And then while everyone else was out there celebrating, the overachiever was at home, exhausted from all the work they did and wondering why no one else cared as much as they did. And that's the overachiever's paradox. We push ourselves to the limit. We want more. We're willing to go after it. But sometimes it feels like we're the only one on the ride. And I mean, to be honest, where's the fun in a victory lap if there's no one else there to cheer you on, right? So if you're feeling this way, know that you are absolutely not alone. There's nothing to be ashamed of, and there's nothing wrong with you for wanting more. The truth is, this feeling is part of the journey. It's part of the process of becoming the person you're meant to be. And that's why we're talking about how to navigate this tension, because I've been there and I've been on the other side of it. Why we're looking to embrace our ambition and still feel connected, feel like we belong. Because let's be honest, even lighthouses need a little company now and then, don't they? And that's exactly why you can feel so alone, even when we're surrounded by all these other people. It's not that we literally don't have friends or family or people who care about us. It's that our path has taken us to a different place that they haven't gone, or maybe they don't want to go. So we're striving for something more, something bigger, something greater. And naturally, that creates a distance between us and those who aren't on the same journey. It's like as if we're speaking two different languages. One that's filled with dreams, ambitious, and a vision for the future that others might not fully understand. They see us, they might even admire what we're doing, but they don't really get it. They don't feel that same pull, that same drive. And that can make it feel like we are on an island in our own lives, waving at everybody else from a distance, hoping that they will see us and recognize us. This is why so many go-getters and high achievers, from my perspective, feel that deep sense of loneliness, even when we're surrounded by people. It's this distance. It's not about the number of people who are around us. It's not about the quantity. It's about the depth of connection and understanding. That's what we're after. And when we're on a journey that's uniquely ours, it can be hard to find that connection with others who aren't walking on the same path. It's understandable. So, with all this in mind, it's no wonder that we might ask ourselves, how can I stay true to my heart and my desires when the people around me don't seem to understand or support me? And they're asking, isn't it good enough? It's a tough question. And it's one that I have definitely asked myself several times on this journey. And so the first thing I think is important for us to realize is that our dreams and desires are ours for a reason. They are part of what makes us who we are. Part of what drives us is to reach for more, to make an impact, to live a life that's not just good, but is extraordinary and amazing. But when others don't get it, when they don't see the vision as clearly as you do, it can be really challenging to stay on course. It's kind of like trying to explain your favorite hobby to someone who just doesn't get it. Wait, you spend hours arranging tiny pieces of plastic into miniature worlds? Why? Meanwhile, you're like, how do you not see the beauty of this? This is amazing. We're going for it. So think of that lighthouse again. Your light is meant to shine. It's meant to guide others. And it's also meant to illuminate your path. And some people will see the light and be drawn to it, understanding the direction that you're heading, while others might see it from afar and not fully grasp where it's leading. But that doesn't mean that you should dim your light to make it easier for them to understand. Your light is your truth, your calling, and staying true to it is what will ultimately lead you to the life you're meant to live. Owning your ambition. You wouldn't dim your headlights just because the other cars on the road have different destinations, right? So one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to surround yourself with people who do understand, even if they're not physically around you day in and day out. Whether you're following like-minded people on YouTube and jamming out to their content, finding coaches who are where you want to be, or connecting with even just one person who's on a similar journey as you, it can make all the difference. Because these people, whether you know them or not, will lift you up, remind you where you're headed, and help you stay true to your path, even when others don't get it. It's like finding your own little club of overachievers who totally get why you'd spend your weekend obsessing over that plastic instead of binge watching on Lincoln Lawyer, even though that's one of my favorite shows. And remember, it's okay to feel a little scared or uncertain. It's all part of the process. But don't let the fear of being misunderstood hold you back. Your desires are valid. Your dreams are real. And staying true to them is how you'll create the life you envision for yourself, whether you know what it looks like or not. So keep shining. Keep moving forward. And trust that the right people will come along you as you continue this journey. But to feel accepted in your ambition, you have to accept yourself. Because let's be real, the best journeys are the ones where you get to be unapologetically ambitious. So let's talk about another question that may be weighing on your mind. You may be asking yourself, am I going to lose my relationships and end up alone if I keep tracing my dreams? Will I still have a best friend left? It's a valid concern, and one that I'm sure many of us grapple with. I know I have, especially when we're just beginning to feel that pull towards something more. But let's get real. Feeling that pull towards something bigger can be both exciting and terrifying, can't it? We're starting to see possibilities beyond our current life. But with that comes the fear of what might happen if we actually follow through. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff looking out at the horizon, wondering what will happen if we take the leap. Being afraid of losing your relationships, of your boyfriend breaking up with you or your girlfriend, and ending up alone is something that many of us experience, even before we take those first steps. So I want you to think of it like a space shuttle preparing to launch. You're still on the ground, getting ready to blast off towards your dreams. And at this point, up until this point, everyone's been cheering you on. But you can't help but wonder, what if, as I ascend, the people I care about start to drift away? And it's a fear that can make us hesitate, keeping us grounded because we're not sure if we'll have anyone left by our side once we're up there in our orbit. And to put a little cherry on top of this Sunday, this fear has a way of making that loneliness feel even more real. This fear compounds that loneliness even before we've actually taken any big steps. We start worrying that people won't understand us, won't understand, or that we'll end up alone if we follow our heart. Being afraid of the unknown can make us feel like we're already losing people, even when nothing has changed yet. It's like standing at the edge of a forest, flashlight in hand, wondering if anyone will follow us into the unknown. Is anybody blasting off with us? But let's be honest. Sometimes we worry a little too much about what others might think. You know, like when you're considering that bold life change and you're already picturing the raised eyebrows from your friends and your family. It's like wearing a neon outfit you love, but wondering if everyone else will think it's too much. But here's the truth. Those who really matter won't care. They really won't. If you're making a bold move or taking a step in another direction they don't fully understand, they're going to support you because they care about you, not just the version of you that fits neatly into their expectations. It's like there's this common myth out there that ambition and having good relationships can't coexist. That if we pursue our dreams, then our relationships will inevitably suffer. But I can tell you from my own life and my clients that that's simply not true. The reality is we can have both. We can chase our dreams and reach for more and still maintain or even strengthen those relationships in our life and feeling connected to those people. It's important to remember that relationships aren't static. Nothing is static in our life. Because just as you're growing and you're evolving, your relationships can too. And in fact, as you start to pursue your ambitions, you might even find that some relationships deepen in ways that you never even expected. Because when you're true to yourself and your desires, the connections that are meant to last, they will grow stronger, even if the people around you don't fully understand your journey at first. And just that journey is worth it. It's natural for relationships to change as we grow, but change doesn't have to equate to loss or lack. Instead, think of it as an opportunity for your relationships to evolve in a way that supports who you're becoming. And remember, the people who truly care about you will adapt and grow alongside of you, even if it takes them time to fully get on board or to fully grasp your vision. So no, feeling the pull towards something more doesn't mean you're going to end up alone. It doesn't mean that you won't have any more friends. It just means that your circle might shift, evolve, and grow in new ways because you are. The key is to stay true to yourself and trust that the right people will stay by your side or join you along the way. but you have to be there for yourself. The relationships that matter most will deepen and become even more meaningful as you start to explore this path. Because, like I said, the people who love you for who you truly are will celebrate your growth and support your journey. Neon pants at all. So here's the thing. Stop making yourself wrong just because others don't get you. You're not here to fit into someone else's mold. You're here to break it, to step into your unique journey, and to embrace the more that's calling you. Because when you focus on getting others to understand, you're pouring out your energy into proving and explaining and convincing. But what could happen if you redirected that energy into growing, creating, and discovering what you're truly capable of? Remember, the people who love you for who you are will celebrate your growth, even if they don't fully understand it at first. And trust me, those neon pants you're wearing on this journey, they're your symbol of boldness, of your courage, and your commitment to living life on your terms. So go with the new you. Go with the ambitious you. Trust that you're on the right path, even if others can't see it yet. Because ultimately, this journey is about you becoming the fullest, truest version of yourself. And when you do that, not only will you find the fulfillment and the connection that you're seeking, but you'll also inspire others to do the same. Your journey is your journey alone, but you're never truly alone. Keep moving forward, keep growing, and keep creating the life you're meant to live. The right people will see your light and join you on the path, but it all starts with you embracing the journey and you accepting your own ambition. Remember, your vision is your compass. Stay certain, stay aligned, and stay true to yourself. You've got this, and I'm here with you every step of the way.